It's time for the Week 13 waiver wire. Let's get it started. Do you have questions at quarterback? Don't worry, I got you. Russell Wilson. Yes, I know he has not scored 20 fantasy points since week 4, but if the Denver Broncos want this win streak to continue, Russell Wilson's gonna have to put up some points. He's also had 2 touchdowns in 3 of the last 4 games he's played. Not bad. Plus, going against the Texans is going to be a nice back and forth affair. If you need a solid start, Baker Mayfield's probably going to be your guy. He's had 2 touchdowns in 4 of the last 5 games. That should be pretty solid. He should get it done as an average quarterback. I'm not looking for him to dominate, but he'll keep you in the matchup. I'm gonna be honest with you, I straight up do not like this play, but desperate times calls for desperate measures. I think he can get you anywhere between 16 and 18 points. The Tennessee Titans don't scare you, but he really doesn't excite you. Are you weak at wide receiver? Don't worry, I got you. I've been telling y'all to pick up Jaden Reed for weeks now. Hopefully he's on your squad. In week 12, he had 8 targets. That's the most he's had since week 2. He's also had a touchdown in 3 straight games. He goes up against Kansas City. I don't like that matchup, but I do like that they're going to be down and need to throw the ball. I don't expect him to score a touchdown on this one, but he is 3 for 3. He's got a shot. Plus, he's getting involved in a rushing game. Wild. Next up, Curtis Samuel. He had 12 targets against the Dallas Cowboys. That's the most targets he's had all year. I don't expect that to happen, but if he could get 7 or 8 targets and stumble his way into the end zone against Miami, it's going to be a nice play. Plus, Miami is going to outscore the Commanders, meaning the Commanders are going to have to throw the ball to keep up. I think Curtis Samuel gets more involved. Just to be clear, he's more of a flex play. I'll be stoked if he gets double digits. Next up, Greg Dortch. He's had 8 or more targets in back-to-back games. Yeah, he only had 3 receptions last week. His touchdown really carried him, but I'm looking at the targets. 8 and 9? That's not bad. If you need a flyer, Greg Dortch might fly your way. And a pure and utter shot in the dark. I'm talking if you have literally no one else to pick up and you're like, I don't have anyone. A.T. Perry might get you 6 to 8 points. And if you're lucky, more. Rashid Shaheed injured. Chris Olave has a concussion. And Michael Thomas is out. They don't really have many people to throw the ball to. Pure shot in the dark. They're going to have to keep up with Detroit. Perry if you have literally no other option. Check to see if these receivers are on your waiver wire. The first 2 I've been telling you about for weeks. Rashee Rice. He should not be on your waiver wire, but he's about 50% rostered. With Tony and Mecole Hardman out last week, he got 10 targets, 8 receptions for 107 yards and a touchdown. The Chiefs have been having receiver problems. I think Rashee Rice can help them with that. Next up, Brandon Cooks. Yes, of course, he could always blow up. He has a touchdown in 4 of the last 6 games. That's pretty good. And the Cowboys are going to want to throw it against Seattle. Cooks should be a solid start. And I mentioned Christian Watson because he's less than 70% rostered, and I'm kind of surprised. I wouldn't be excited about starting him, but in general, I like what's happening. 7 targets last week against Detroit. Touchdown in back-to-back weeks. No, I'm not expecting that to happen against the Chiefs this week, but it could happen against the Giants next week. Are you having a rough time with running backs? Don't worry, I got you. Jonathan Taylor is dealing with a thumb injury that could potentially cost him to miss time. If that happens, Zach Moss is a must start. Moss was dominating while Jonathan Taylor was out previously. And if they're going to put it back in his hands, I'm starting him every week until Taylor gets back, assuming he misses, obviously. Zach Moss is one of the best pickups of the week. Jeff Wilson wasn't bad against the Jets, but he gets to face Washington next week. I'm liking the 11 carries and 3 targets. I think that he could be a solid start. Nothing to write home about, but solid. Roschon Johnson is getting a lot more involved. 10 rushes, that's solid, but I love the 5 targets and 5 receptions for 40 yards. Ended up with a total of 75 yards, not bad. Running backs you need to make sure on the waiver wire. Chuba Hubbard, 14 carries, 5 targets, 5 receptions, and he got into the end zone. Make sure he's not on your waiver wire. Keaton Mitchell didn't have a flashy game, but he's proven that he's explosive and definitely worth a roster spot if you can afford it. Now he's on bye this week, so people may be dropping him. Don't forget to check the drops. Snag him up off the wire. Here's your weekly reminder to pick up your handcuff. If you have Christian McCaffrey, you should have Elijah Mitchell. If you have Derrick Henry, you should have Tajay Spears. If you have Tony Pollard, you should have Rico Dowdle. The list goes on. And shout out to my fans that corrected me last week. Tank Bigsby is not the backup in Jacksonville you want. That would be Dearness Johnson. Appreciate y'all for correcting me. Keep up the good work. Are you having a tough time at tight end? Don't worry about it. I got you. The obvious answer is Pat Fryermuth. He went absolutely ballistic last week. 11 targets, 9 receptions, and 120 yards. My man scored 21 fantasy points without scoring a touchdown. Number 1 tight end on the week. Yes, please. He is a must grab. One of the best, if not the best, pickups this week. With all the injuries to the New Orleans Saints, Michael Thomas out, Rashid Shaheed banged up, Chris Olave has concussion. If all of those players miss, Taysom Hill is going to ball out. I know that he's not readily available, but if you have him or you find him, you might want to play him if all these people miss. And if he is rostered, you can start Juwan Johnson. He had 7 targets last week, and with more people out, I just think he gets more involved. If you're desperate, you can go Gerald Everett. He averaged between 2 and 6 targets. He had 4 last week, not bad. So if you're looking to get 6 to 8 points, this might be your guy. He also has a chance to score a touchdown, especially everybody having Butterfingers on this team. Lastly, you have Isaiah Likely. He's on bye, so if you need somebody for this week, obviously not your guy. But I was encouraged that he had 6 targets and went 4 for 40. No, it's not lighting up the box score, but 4 for 40 is not bad. It is the tight end position. If we could get a tight end just getting involved, I mean, that's pretty much as much as you can ask for. Are you desperate for a defense? Don't worry, I got you. The Atlanta Falcons. They had a pick 6 against New Orleans. I don't expect that, but what I do expect is for the Jets to start a backup's backup. And it might get ugly, guys. Start up your Atlanta Falcons. I see some quarterback sacks in this future. Next up, the Carolina Panthers. The team just fired their head coach. They're in disarray, and Bryce Young's a rookie. We're gonna notice a trend, guys. Follow the bad quarterbacks. Jets quarterback. Now the Panthers quarterback. Next up, we got Jacksonville Jaguars going up against Cincinnati. Another backup quarterback. Except the Jacksonville Jaguars have a specialty. They take the ball away. Now, they haven't had an interception in the last 3 weeks, but I think this is a nice bounce back. Fire up your Jacksonville Jaguars. I have no idea why the league decided to do bye weeks this way, but in week 13, we have 6 bye weeks. Buffalo Bills, Chicago Bears, New York Giants, Las Vegas Raiders, Baltimore Ravens, Minnesota Vikings. That is this week. And keep in mind, next week, you got the Arizona Cardinals and Washington. I also love looking at week 8 with none. Looking at week 12 with none. Y'all put it into a perfect system and y'all come up with goose eggs. I don't know. I'm not a mathematician, nor am I a genius, but it looks like what you could do is just have an even 4 teams a week for 8 weeks, ending in week 12. Seems more logical to me. NFL, what are we doing here? And I'm not even just talking about for me in fantasy football. These teams gotta wait 13 weeks to get a bye? What are we doing? I know it's not easy, but dang, guys, y'all can do better than this. Also, I'm kind of tired of people talking about how y'all don't care about fantasy football. Yes, you do. When those TV deals come through, who you think watching all these games? Do you think people would be signing in to watch the Chicago Bears if they didn't have Justin Fields on their team? You think people are going out of their way to watch the Panthers because they find them so interesting? No, they have Adam Thielen on their team. We work together, guys. Y'all don't have to care about it all the time. People shouldn't be contacting players and being like, you suck, you're terrible, and wishing bad things upon them. So if that's happening, guys out there, stop that crap. But miss me with fantasy football doesn't matter, because you know what you like? Money. Do you know why you get paid so much? Because you have as many eyeballs on you as possible. Well, fantasy football are a lot of those eyes. So are gamblers. So I'm just saying, help me help you. We want to give you this money. We want our eyes on your screen. But we want these bye weeks to happen reasonably. 6 bye weeks in week 13. What are we doing here? But I digress. I just wanted you to know the bye weeks. Went on a nice little tangent there. But, you know, I gotta start giving my opinion more on all this stuff. I'm gonna have to start cooking more. Because I got some stuff to get off my chest. This is about to get fun. Good luck on the waiver wire. Let me know if you have any questions. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit that notification bell down below. There will be plenty more videos coming up this week. Look forward to talking to you. Good luck on the waiver wire. Peace.